A Pointy Star Blue Kale here. I'm going to be doing a deck profile of my Harpies. I got third place at locals with these a couple weeks back, so let's go into the profile. So, for start, we got 3 Harpie Channeler. She's the power card of the deck basically. You discard any Harpie card and she brings out any Harpie monster from your deck besides herself. And when a dragon's on the field, she gets to become a level 7 monster, which opens up a lot of rank 7 plays that we'll talk about later. Next we got 3 Harpie Queens. She is also a big player in the deck. She searches out the field spell if you discard her. She's a 1900 beater and she's a target for Channeler. Next I play 2 Harpie Lady 1s and 1 Cyber Harpie Lady. I like the Lady 1s because their attack increase to all wind monsters on the field, and I use 1 Cyber Harpie just because she's an 1800 beater, so it's a better like standalone monster than the Harpie Lady 1s. Next I use 2 Harpie Dancer. I know most people run 3, but I only use 2. She's got the lowest attack and not exactly the most integral effect to combos in the deck, as Channeler can only use her effect once per turn. It's not like once per turn on the field, or just wording doesn't allow her to keep using her effect. But Dancer puts wind monsters back into your hand and then you can normal summon again, which is good when used with the field spell because you can get rid of your opponent's back row. That's the main reason I was able to beat Noble Knights, because their Xyz is very annoying and destroying their equips is the only way you're going to get past them. Next I run 2 Harpies Pet Dragon. Don't run 3 because you don't want to draw into it, because then at that point all it's useful for is a discard for Channeler. But when you do summon him with Channeler, you can get your rank 7s, which everyone knows are pretty boss. Then for the non-Harpies, we got 2 Summoner Monks. He is very good for the deck as you run a lot of level 4s. And you can discard any dead spells in your hand to get another monster out, but you're mostly going to use them to discard the sign, which gives you your 3 Harpie cards at the end of the turn. Then we've got Blackwing Zephyros. Send your Fiendish Chain or field spell back to your hand that's just sitting there on the field and summon him. And then we got Garuda the Wind Spirit, who is another level 4 that you can easily summon by banishing a dead dragon perhaps in your graveyard, something like that. Next we got the spells. We got 3 Hysteric Sign, pretty much the best spell card in the deck. Lets you search out your Elegant Egotist, which summons Harpie Ladies, but you're mostly going to use its effect where if it gets sent to the graveyard, you search your 3 different Harpie cards at the end phase it was sent to the graveyard. You can only use one of those effects once per turn, so you got to be careful about when you activate what effect. Next we use 3 Harpies Hunting Ground. As long as you have Harpies that can be summoned, it's an infinite MST. It gives your Wing Beast 200 attack boost, so that means even Zephyros and stuff, even Zero Fine, they get a attack boost from this. And it's a discard outlet for both Summoner Monk and Harpie Channeler, so it gets you more monsters if you don't want to just play your field spell. Next I run 1 Egotist because Hysteric Sign can get it from the grave. You don't really need to run more than 1. And then the only reason you'd have to fear losing it is if your opponent decides to maybe DD Crow it, I don't know. Bottom line is you're probably not going to need more than 1 because you're not going to lose it very easily. Then I run 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. I know people probably don't usually run this because the field spell acts as an MST, but I figure that there could be some kind of card that stops my initial summon face down, and this just gets rid of that card that they may have so that I can go off on my summons, because if that first summon gets stopped, then I'm basically just sitting out in the open for my opponent to do whatever to me. Then I run 1 Dark Hole, 1 Book of Moon, pretty standard staples. Next up, we got the trap lineup. 3 Hysteric Party. It's you discard 1 card, summon all Harpie Ladies from your grave. They're all treated as Harpie Lady in the grave, so it's a mass monster reborn, a rekindling for Harpies. And it says discard too, so you can get out even more Harpies by discarding a Harpie for its cost and then bringing it out. Or you can discard your sign and get your plus at the end of the turn. So yeah, it's a pretty broken card. Next we got 2 Fiendish Chain. I prefer these over Effect Veiler just because they stop attacks, they can be used on your turn, etc. Got 2 Mirror Force, mass monster removal. 1 Prison, just removes cards instead of destroying them. Cards like Lead Yoke or anything that says can't be destroyed. And we got Torrential Tribute, mass monster removal again. I played 1 Icarus Attack. I find myself not really being able to use the card very often, so I only use 1. But when you do get it off, it's pretty good because you put a Harpie in the graveyard, you destroy 2 of your opponent's cards. It's all around a good card when you get it off, but I just don't find myself getting it off too often. Might be something I want to take out in the future, I don't know. Then we got Bottomless, Compulse, Solemn, or standard traps. Now we'll move on to the extra deck. For rank 7s, we got Big Eye and Draco Sack. The better man is holding on to the Draco Sack right now. He's the only one who has it out of us. So, but yeah, everyone remembers the Dragon Rulers format, what these cards did. Steals monsters, protects and destroys. They're just incredibly powerful. Then we got 2 Lightning Shidoris, basically the powerhouse XCs of the deck. When it's summoned off of an XC summon, you can target an opponent's set card and return it to the bottom of the deck, and then you can detach from him, and that sends your opponent's face-up card back to the top of their deck. So he's a pretty trollsy card. And he requires 2 level wins, so most of the deck is wins, and that makes him pretty easy to bring out. We got Black Ship of Corn, gets rid of Zen Mains, Maestroke. I mean, I know people say that you don't see those very often anymore, but really, I mean, you do still see them a lot. Yeah, that too. It does get rid of Shark. Any monster 2100 or lower it gets rid of. Because it sends, it doesn't destroy. We got Utopia. He's a slightly big monster and he stops attacks, so not bad. Just a classic XCs basically. Cowboy. Most people use him for his defense mode effect, which is burn 800 your opponent, but I found myself using his attack position effect a lot. It's take away 1,000 of your opponent's monster attack and add 1,000 to his attack, take away 500 of your opponent's. So basically anything under 3,000, I believe it is, he can get rid of without destroying himself. So that opens a lot of possibilities if your opponent has a big monster out. We got Maestroke, flips stuff down, prevents destruction twice. Not bad. Gem Knight, he's a big beater, but I didn't really use him all that much. I mean, we're getting a lot of good new XCs, so he'll probably come out for one of those new ones. And if I had a Shark Knight or Exciton, he'd probably get replaced by one of those, but, you know. Money! Photon Papal Operative, flips up face downs or puts your opponent's defense monsters in attack, makes them lose attack, and he's 2100, so that's not bad. Diamond Direwolf. Now here's a card you don't actually have to. Here's a deck where you don't have to actually blow himself up. You got a bunch of winged beasts that you can use his effect on. I really like how he destroys face down monsters without flipping them up, so any Raikos or Snowman ears your opponent might have, he gets rid of. We got the Harpie XCs, the Harpie's Phantasmal Dragon. It requires 3 level 4 wins, and its effect is it can attack directly when it has XC's materials, and no Harpie monster you control can be targeted for attacks or effects. So you got 3 turns of attacking directly, and they can't attack it, so it's pretty good. We got Ice Beast Zero Fine. You get 2 winged beast monsters to bring her out, and that's pretty much everyone in the deck except for Dragon and Summoner Monk, so she's pretty easy to get out. Then her effect is she negates the effects of all of your opponent XC's monsters, and for every face-up card in the field besides herself, she gains 300 attack. So she can get pretty big, and then stop your opponent's Lead Yoke, Draco Sack, etc. Violent de Sigma, basically the budget version of Shark Knight, but he can work in some situations where Shark Knight can't. Shark Knight says the monster that they have out had to have been special summoned and be in attack position. He says be in attack position and an effect monster, so slightly different, but all around the same. Plus he also gets the effect of when he's equipped with the monster you took. Any monster with the same attribute of that monster he's equipped with gets destroyed automatically at the start of the damage step, so there's also that added bonus. And the last one, number 69, Heraldry Crest. He's another XE's negator and XE's effect taker as well. So if your opponent's got a big eye out, you can use their big eye's effect via this guy's effect. And then for the side deck, I run cards like Max C, Flying C. Flying C is Constellar and Evil Swarm Hate. I really do not like those decks. They're really good. Soul Drain, D Crow, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, Dark World Hate. Those can be pretty hard decks to deal with too, with their big Graphas and they're destroying stuff all the time. Another D Prison, just cause like maybe Battling Boxers or any deck that prevents destruction. Those are good against. Other cards you'd side would be like Light Imprisoning Mirror, because Boojins and Constellars. So any changes I'd make to the deck right now, there'd be probably maybe take out the Icarus Attack for another Dancer, since I never really get that card off very often, but yeah, Dancer can be pretty helpful. I've learned against stuff like Noble Knights, and I believe they got first at a regionals a couple days ago, so they may go up in popularity. It might be a good idea to put Dancer in, but other than that, she is a pretty good card, as she can be searched by Sign, discarded by Channeler, summoned by Channeler, summoned by Summoner Monk to get out of Channeler, to do, yeah, just all these crazy shenanigans you can do with Dancer, so she might go up to 3. That's probably the biggest change I would make right now, besides, you know, if I somehow get a Shark Knight in my hand, then I put that in the extra deck, but yeah, that's about it. Tell me what you think of the deck in the comments. Tell me any ideas you might have. Tell me your opinions, etc. Thanks for watching.